Hmm. Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me? Maybe a yes or a no on the chat box would help if you all are able to hear me. Okay, can you hear me? Okay, great. I get a yes from Anya. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us in this webinar today. I am Bela Maitrya and I am a certified professional coach. I work with my clients to help them on mental well-being, how to take care of their mental health, their emotional well-being, and help them achieve the life goals that they are chasing for. So today's webinar is not me giving you any kind of gyan. Okay, that's not the purpose. The purpose is to spread awareness about what mental health is all about. Because मेंटल हेल्थ एक टैबू की तरह जाना जाता है हमारे इंडिया में स्पेशली हमारी कंट्री में दिस इज अ this is a word that has taken notice or has become very popular in the last few years, right? In your parents era, in your grandparents era, you never heard about this word mental health. But the times that we are living in, the need is that we should be aware of what mental health is because it is real. It happens in our body, it impacts our body day in day out, and that's why the more awareness we have, the better we will able to take care of it. Okay, so this is going to be like a close to 35 to 40-minute session where I'll be sharing what you can do to understand your mental health better. Okay, and in the end of the session we will have like 4 to 5 minutes where, let's say, if we have any questions, any reflections from this session, any thing that comes to your mind which you want to share, feel free to do that. Okay, And this is a recording, so you can go back and refer to this recording later as well. So as and when people join, let them join, but let's respect the time for people who are here, and let's get started. Okay. Some ground rules. I would sincerely urge all of you to come with an open mind. Okay, don't have any assumptions, don't have any judgments of about others and about yourself as well. जितना आप अपना ओपन माइंड रखेंगे उतना बेटर आप नॉलेज को एब्जॉर्ब कर पाएंगे. Okay. And second is, be honest to yourself as you reflect. Most important thing is, sometimes our ego comes in between and we say that this doesn't happen to me, but the fact it happens to all of us, including me as well. Okay. So the more honest you are about this, the better the better help it will be for you in today's session. Okay. And that's a line that I always use, is ki listen and not just hear. Okay, there is a difference between hearing, there is a difference between listening. Hearing is that the sound has just reached your ears. Okay, you are not making any sense of it. Listening is when you interpret it, when you realize ki, acha, what does it mean actually? How can I use this? Okay, what are the reflections that I can have around it? Okay, so my sincere request is that have an open mind and be honest to yourself, because that's when we will gather the maximum knowledge and it will be beneficial for you. Okay. The chat box is open. Let's say at any given point of time you have any questions, feel free to put it in the chat box. As and when we have time, and especially at the end of the session, we'll take those questions. Any reflections that you have, we'll be able to do that. Okay. So let's get started. Okay, now the simple question is, what is mental health, right? And मेंटल हेल्थ के बारे में बहुत ज्यादा मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन है हमारे मार्केट में, हमारी सोसाइटी में. सो लेट्स टेक अ लिटिल मोमेंट टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज मेंटल हेल्थ. ओके, इन सिंपलिस्टिक टर्म्स लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड दिस. जैसे आपकी फिजिकल बॉडी होती है, द फिजिकल बॉडी दैट वी हैव, राइट? सो देयर इज अ फिजिकल हेल्थ. ओके, एंड देयर इज अ फिजिकल इलनेस. सो व्हाट हैपेंस इज, हम अपनी फिजिकल हेल्थ का ध्यान रखते हैं ताकि फिजिकल इलनेस ना हो. करेक्ट. We take care of the food that we eat. We try and have nutritious food. Okay, we try and do a lot of movements, exercise, right? So ये जो हम फिजिकल बॉडी को मेंटेन करने के लिए जो इनिशिएटिव्स लेते हैं, to ensure that we do not get physical illness like fever, like chronic illnesses, right? You eat less sugar so that you don't get diabetes, you move so that you don't put on weight, right? The simple mechanism happens with mental health and mental illness as well. Okay, now mental health is how you show up to the world, actually, in the sense that how you process your emotions and thoughts. Okay, when you take care of that, then you don't end up being a mental ill person. मेंटल इलनेस क्या होती है? बेसिकली मेंटल इलनेस होती है आपको कोई बाइपोलर सिंड्रोम हो गया, और सिवियर एंजाइटी है या सिवियर डिप्रेशन केस है जहां पे आपको मेडिकल इंटरवेंशन चाहिए. ओके, दैट इज कॉल्ड मेडिकल मेंटल इलनेस. But if we take care of our mental health day and day out, okay, and that's one piece we miss every day because we feel नहीं कुछ नहीं होता, but it actually happens. Okay, so जितना आप अपनी mental health का ध्यान रखेंगे, it will be easier for you to not get an mental illness. Okay, so let's understand it with a simple framework. Mental health is ongoing state of emotional, psychological, and social well-being, so that we can show up every day with clarity and peace. Okay, let's understand it one by one. Eventually हम सारे human beings को क्या चाहिए? Okay, while you have a different goals altogether, let's say somebody wants more money, somebody wants more fame, more validation, that is a different thing. But eventually, nutshell में what all we are chasing for? We are chasing happiness, we are chasing clarity in life, we are chasing peace, we are chasing contentment, right? That's eventually the reason why we all live every day. Okay, now there are three aspects to it. There is emotional, there is psychological, and there is social well-being. Emotional is, how do you process your emotions? Science has proved, neuroscience research says that हमारे mind में 6,000 unique thoughts, generate होते हैं every day. How do you make sense of that? How do you process that? That's come from emotional well-being. देयर साइकोलॉजिकल वेलबींग, जो भी आपने इमोशंस प्रोसेस किए हैं, आप उसका इंटरप्रिटेशन कैसे करते हैं, आप उसका क्या परसेप्शन बनाते हैं, राइट? हाउ डू यू शो अप टू द वर्ल्ड, राइट? दैट कम्स इन द साइकोलॉजिकल स्पेस. एंड देन देयर इज सोशल वेलबींग. How do you interact with people around you? Eventually human being is a social animal, right? तो आपका social structure कैसा है? It doesn't mean that you need to have lot of friends. That's not we are talking about. Social well-being is how do you actually function when you are around people. Okay. Now, if you look at emotional, psychological, and social well-being, the better control, the better, balance you have in all these three things, the better clarity you will have and more peace you will have. So this is exactly what mental health talks about. That take care of your emotions, take care of how you process these emotions, and how you interpret these emotions, and then how you show up to the world and to yourself. Okay. This is the scale. Now this is where we need to work towards. Okay, जैसे हमारी physical health होती है, there are few people who have very good physical health, so they don't get ill very frequently. Okay, and let's say they do get ill, then they recover soon, so that means they have a good physical health. Even if diseases happen, because that will happen, that's the surroundings that we live in, they are able to recover better, so that means आपकी physical health better है. Similar case है mental health में. If you are able to control your emotional, psychological, and social well-being well, you will be able to cope any situation that you are in. कितनी भी difficult situation होगी आपके पास, कितने भी issues you are facing in your life, right? You will be able to cope up from it. And that is what we all ideally should work towards. And when we say all, I'm saying including me as well. Okay, because we all are human. We all get multiple emotions, multiple thoughts in a day, but if you don't know how to process it, it can really affect you bad. And maybe I'm not in this year, maybe after 2 years, maybe after 3 years, maybe after 4 years, maybe after 10 years, you will never know. But ये आपकी बॉडी में ऐसे इम्पैक्ट करती है, राइट? इट गेट्स टू योर सेल लेवल, या आपके इमोशंस गेट टू अ सेल लेवल, एंड देन इट even you know even get you physical illness. Okay, so the better mental health you have, the more you are on the right side of the scale, the better it will be for you to cope up from any situation that you are in. Okay. The one thing which I want to very clearly call out is there's also a misconception that, you should not have negative emotions, which is not the case. Okay. Angry hona is okay. Disappointed feel karna is okay. Feeling sad is okay. Feeling frustrated is okay. Right. Feeling uncomfortable is okay. Feeling jealous is also okay. Having a feeling of guilt is okay. Having a feeling of shame is okay. But if you are stuck in a loop, okay, that is not okay, right? The more you are on the right side of the scale, as I'm saying, the more you are on a good mental state, you will immediately get an awareness that this, I'm going in the wrong direction. And now it's time for me to come back and take control of my life. Okay, so never feel that negative emotions galat hai. Negative emotions galat nahi, because we all are human being, but how you process it, how you regulate it, how you use it to your advantage to live a life of clarity and peace, that is important. Okay, so I hope this concept of mental health is clear. Let's move. Now let's understand few causes, signs of poor mental health. Okay, kuch signs hai, kuch causes hai. Okay, फर्स्ट इज लाइफस्टाइल. आपकी, एज आई सेड, आपकी फिजिकल हेल्थ अगर सही नहीं है, तो कहीं ना कहीं इट विल इम्पैक्ट योर मेंटल हेल्थ एज वेल. इवेंचुअली इट विल. ओके, सो दिस गो हैंड इन हैंड. So let's say if your lifestyle is not good, right? If you don't prioritize your sleep, कभी नींद ना आना, it's okay. But if you are not doing anything about it, then it's a problem. आपकी डाइट अच्छी नहीं है, न्यूट्रिशन वाली डाइट आप लेते नहीं है, यू आर हैविंग जंक फूड, यू आर ईटिंग लेफ्ट राइट एंड सेंटर, इमोशनल ईटिंग कर रहे हैं आप ज्यादा, that means either it's a sign of your poor mental health, or it's a vice versa, that eventually it will impact your mental health. Lack of movement, right? You don't have to go to gyms and be a bodybuilder, but move. Our body is meant to move. Your two hands, your two legs, the more you move, the better you'll be able to make sense of what's happening in your mind. Okay, and the interesting one is no purpose. And that's where most of the people who I work with, they come up to me and say ki, अब मुझे पता नहीं मेरा लाइफ में पर्पस क्या है. Okay, now the point is, it's okay if you don't know what your purpose is, but it's not okay if you are not doing anything about it. Okay, the second thing is, purpose doesn't always has to attach with a financial aspect. I see most of the people say that, I'm just a housewife. Okay, and I don't earn money. Okay, I don't know what my purpose is. That's okay. Okay, if you are not meant, or if you do not feel like going out and working, right, there's a lot that you can still do. Your purpose could be taking care of your family in your best capacity. Your purpose could be raising your children as a good human being. Your purpose could be just getting up every day and seeing what help you can provide to other people, right? Your purpose could be, enjoying something that you do, your hobbies, your painting, creativity, anything could be the purpose. But the purpose is something that drives you, something that you feel, okay, I wake up today, let me have a good day, right? Let me be excited about this day. Okay, वो पर्पस आपके लाइफ में होना चाहिए. कुछ ना कुछ, कुछ हैबिट्स, कुछ छोटे से चीज भी अगर आप you just take it and say that yes, I want to work towards it, that will give you a sense of belonging in this world. Okay, so purpose is also very important, and the purpose can change when you are in your school, when you are in your college. Your purpose is to have a good career, get good exams marks. Okay, build your career. That could be your purpose. When you come in your middle age, tab aapka purpose ho sakta hai ki I have to take care of my family, take care of all the responsibilities, right? As you grow older, your purpose could be something else. How I can give back to the community. अगर फाइनेंशियली मैं किसी को हेल्प नहीं कर सकती, कैन आई हेल्प somebody emotionally, कैन आई हेल्प somebody physically, right? It could be anything, whatever resonates with you. But the whole idea is have some purpose at any stage of life that you are. You should know that when you get up in the morning, I should look up to something, look forward to something. Okay, that's very important. Let's understand the external factors. Burnout. Most of the people जो अभी हमारे middle age में है, right, especially I'll talk about millennials, right, they are just racing, they are just running on a treadmill. For what, we don't know. We all are in a rat race. किसके लिए भाग रहे हैं हमें किसी को नहीं पता, right? And it comes to a point when it leads to a burnout, right? It usually happens, burnout usually also happens when you are living your life which you do not resonate with. आप वो काम कर रहे हैं या फिर आप वैसे जी रहे हैं जैसे लोग आपको चाहते हैं, द what people think that this is how you should live. When you're not living what is true to yourself, that's also a kind of a burnout. It's not only physical burnout, it's emotional burnout as well, right? So that is one sign that you have to take care of it. Phone addiction. And phone addiction, I would say, it's not only with Gen Zs or it's with every age group today. Ask yourself honestly, can you just sit down and don't look at your phone? Can you do that without getting distracted? If you, let's say you're in a meeting, you are attending a class, you are talking to somebody, that's fine, right? But apart from that, how many times do you pick your phone in a day, right? That is becoming an addiction. And sooner or later, it will impact you. You will start getting irritated with little things. ट्रिगर आएंगे आपको बहुत जल्दी. तो फोन एडिक्शन, दिस डिजिटल दुनिया में हम रह रहे हैं, though it is very much digital, a lot of things are dependent on digital things, but we still can do much about it and be little aware that is my addiction on my phone or my digital equipments is way too much or not. Okay, then is your company. And I'm company, when I say a company, I do not mean the organization that you're working in. Your company means आप कितने लोग, किन लोगों के साथ उठते बैठते हैं, राइट? बिकॉज एज हमारी पुरानी जनरेशन में हमारे पेरेंट्स, हमारी ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स बोलते थे कि संगति का असर होता है, एंड दैट्स रियल पीपल. It's not it's a very cliche statement, but it's very, very true. The people you surround yourself with, right, they will directly or indirectly influence the way you show up to the world. Okay, so you have to be very aware of it. I'm not saying disown those companies, sometimes we cannot, right? But be aware that whether this person is good for me or bad for me. Have this awareness. Okay, internal. Internally आप क्या signs आते हैं? Negative self talk. You constantly talk to yourself and say मेरी ही लाइफ खराब है, this is the reason, it always happens with me. right? I am not good enough, right? You keep on judging yourself, am I doing something wrong or not? Or you keep on judging others as well, right? That's a negative zone that you are in. Again, little bit here and there, when you get into some situations, थोड़ा बहुत करना is okay, थोड़ा बहुत होना it's okay, because even immediately आपके कुछ emotions निकल के आते हैं. But अगर आप उस loop के अंदर हैं, right, that is a signal that you are suffering from a poor mental health, because now you don't know how to take control of your emotions and thoughts. Okay, getting easily triggered, as I was saying it, छोटी सी बात पे आपको गुस्सा आता है, छोटी सी बात पे आप ट्रिगर हो जाते हैं, right? That means यहाँ पे कोई प्रॉब्लम है. यहाँ, and when I say यहाँ पे कोई प्रॉब्लम, it doesn't mean you are mad or you are there is some illness. It means it needs some attention. That's a sign that you have to go back and sit and see what's happening here, right? हमारी फिजिकल बॉडी की रिपोर्ट तो ब्लड रिपोर्ट निकाल देती है, बट यहाँ की रिपोर्ट कोई नहीं निकाल सकता आपके अलावा, right? So that is a sign. Unresolved emotions. There are so many people who lose their loved ones, who see some trauma during their childhood, right? अगर आपने उन emotions को address नहीं किया है, right, then it means it's somewhere it is sitting in your mind, right? आप किसी को forgive नहीं कर पा रहे. क्यों नहीं कर पा रहे? बिकॉज आपने उसको अपने माइंड में उस पर्टिकुलर इमोशन के साथ जो रिलेशनशिप है उस पर वर्क नहीं किया है. Okay, unresolved emotions is one of the most common reasons why people feel that उनकी mental health is taking a toll. And loneliness, if you just seclude yourself, अगर आप एक अपने cocoon में बैठे हैं, right, you are not talking to people, you are not having a conversation with people, right, it will impact your mental health. What you talk, how you talk, is a different discussion altogether for some other day. But don't detach yourself from the social space that we are. Human beings are social animals, right? There is a reason why we thrive in a tribe. Okay, choose your company well, right? Know what, who is good for you, who is bad for you, but go and talk to people, not on the phone, not on the chats, because that's not helpful. Go and talk to people, have conversations. You will learn something, you will have different perspectives toward life, and that will bring so much of awareness that you will understand where you were going wrong. Okay, so the whole idea is the center of all these things, जो भी हमने साइंस के बारे में बात करी, causes के बारे में बात करी, the center of all this is how we regulate our emotions and thoughts. सारी मैथ्स वहीं पे आके अटक जाती है कि आपके इमोशंस और थॉट्स को आप कैसे रेगुलेट करते हैं. Okay, so with that, let's move. So I always like to put this in a metaphor sense कि हमारा माइंड ना प्रेशर कुकर की तरह है. ओके, प्रेशर कुकर आप सबको पता है कैसे चलता है, राइट? प्रेशर कुकर जैसे स्टीम बिल्ड करता रहता है, राइट, वैसे ही हमारा माइंड, इमोशंस, थॉट्स, इट कीप्स ऑन बिल्डिंग इन अ माइंड. ओके, एंड अगर आपने इन इमोशंस और इन थॉट्स को cater नहीं किया, eventually it will get into an outburst वाला situation, and that's even more harmful. And यहाँ पे I would also talk about the toxic positivity. Sometimes हम क्या करते हैं, हम चीजों को surface level पे brush up करने की कोशिश करते हैं कि it's okay, हो गया, right? All is well. While it's good, all is well, everything is all good. But always ask yourself, जो मेरा underlining emotion है, जो मेरा underlining thought है, has that been addressed or not? क्योंकि अगर वो address नहीं हुआ है ना, तो eventually it will come back again. So that's very important that you don't cushion everything. People have this tendency, जैसे आप एक लिविंग रूम में सोचिए, एक मैट है, ठीक है, आप अपना लिविंग रूम को क्लीन कर रहे हैं, राइट? सो यू पुट ऑल द डस्ट बिहाइंड द मैट एंड से माई रूम इज क्लीन, राइट? दैट्स नॉट द केस. आपका रूम अभी भी गंदा है क्योंकि मैट के नीचे सारी डर्ट लगी हुई है, सारी डर्ट आपने वहां पे इकट्ठा कर रखी है, राइट? इट्स अ सिमिलर केस विथ योर माइंड एज वेल. Okay, it's good to sometimes say it's okay, things happen, that's fine. But if it is coming back to you again after few days, few months, few years, that means there is a time for you to go and address that emotion. Okay, to create a relationship with that emotion कि हम दोनों कैसे एक साथ काम कर सकते हैं मेरे माइंड के अंदर. Okay, so that's what is important. So how we can do that? Very important. थोड़े थोड़े टाइम में वो स्टीम को, जैसे हम कुकर का लिड खोलते हैं, राइट, थोड़ी थोड़ी स्टीम निकाल के वी ओपन द कुकर, इन द सेम वे माइंड के अंदर जो भी आपके थॉट्स एंड इमोशंस हैं, उनको रेगुलरली मेक इट अ प्रैक्टिस। रेगुलरली यू कैन, यू नो, I would say, let it out time and again through various ways. And through various ways, kya hai? Awareness. Like today, you took that step to come to this session because it's important to you. So this is an awareness. So that's a first good step you have already taken. Journaling, very, 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 very powerful. There are so many people out there जिनके पास वो family का support नहीं होता. There is nobody who can listen to them. I would urge you people that please start journaling. Journaling is a very very powerful tool. And journaling doesn't only happen जब आपका mind खराब है, जब आपका positive mind है तब भी journaling काम आती है. For people who don't know what journaling is writing down your thoughts in a pen and, in a diary. Do it every day. If you are stuck somewhere, write what I'm feeling. If you are happy, write it. If you are confused, write it. What will happen from this? धीरे 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 आपके जो भी माइंड के अंदर इमोशंस एंड थॉट्स है वो आपके सिस्टम से बाहर आ जाएंगे. सो दैट्स हाफ जॉब डन. डोंट पुट दैट प्रेशर टू मच ऑन योर माइंड, क्योंकि आपका माइंड फिर सोचने और समझने की शक्ति खो देता है. एंड दैट्स द बिगेस्ट साइन ऑफ पुअर मेंटल हेल्थ. सो जितना आप जर्नलिंग करेंगे, मेक दिस अ पार्ट ऑफ योर प्रैक्टिस एंड यू विल, आई कैन वाउच यू विल स्टार्ट एंजॉइंग इट अलॉट. Or through conversations. And that's when people like me come in, coaches and therapists and professional people who can help you, release your, have an emotional release, right? Who can help you what's going wrong. Okay, so conversations are also very important. I also want to put one thought across is, as I was saying in my last slide also, किन लोगों से कॉन्वर्सेशन करते हैं वो भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. Okay, if you are letting out your emotional release with somebody who will just add on to the fuel or make it more negative, please create a distance from them. Instead, it's better you do journaling. Okay, you have to be, conversations doesn't mean जाके आपने किसी को भी अपना जाके रोना रो दिया, because you have to understand, as I always say, सामने वाला आपकी कॉन्वर्सेशंस को कैसे, परसीव कर रहा है, हाउ दे आर एक्चुअली, वेदर दैट कॉन्वर्सेशन इज हेल्पिंग यू और नॉट. दैट काइंड ऑफ क्लैरिटी वी लूज. हम सिर्फ जाके अपना वेंट आउट करके आ जाते हैं. दैट्स गुड, sometimes it's good, but know who these people are. It's very very important. They should not add to your negative trauma again. And if you don't have anybody, that's when I say always come to professional people who do this day in and day out, and they can be your support to take you from where you want to go. Okay, so now we'll do a quick exercise. It's a like very small exercise we'll do. I'll invite all of you to have a pen and a paper. Okay, अगर आप एक पेन और पेपर लेके आ सकते हैं, हम एक छोटी सी, बहुत छोटी सी एक्सरसाइज करेंगे. सो आई गिव यू मे बी फ्यू सेकेंड्स टू गो एंड गेट योर पेन एंड पेपर. Okay, if you have your pen and paper, maybe a thumbs up in the chat box would help. Okay, I see yes from Akshaj, from Anya. Okay, great. So team, okay, now what we'll do is I'll give you one, I will show you one, picture. अभी एक आपके सामने एक पिक्चर आएगी. ओके, आई वॉन्ट यू टू हैव अ लुक एट इट, मे बी फॉर अ मिनट, 30 सेकेंड्स, 45 सेकेंड्स. एंड उसके बाद आप अपनी नोटपैड में दो चीजें लिखेंगे. आप एक लिखेंगे आपको क्या इमोशन फील हुआ, एंड दूसरा आप लिखेंगे कि आपके मन में क्या थॉट क्रिएट हुआ. ओके, सिंपल. आई शो यू वन इमेज, हैव अ लुक एट इट, एंड देन टेल मी कि उसको देख के आपको क्या इमोशन फील हुआ. Emotion should be in one word. Okay, sad, depressed, happy, whatever that emotion जो आपके मन में आ रहा है. Okay, put it just in one word, and then put कि आपके मन में उसके बाद क्या thought आया, and be honest. That's all my request is. Okay, have a look at it and take your time and write the emotions and the thought. Okay, I see a response where it says excited. Okay, okay, then I hear one as fear. Okay, somebody said happy, somebody said happiness. Okay, somebody said confused. Okay, and what was the thought behind it? So maybe how you can write it, first write emotion and emotion के साथ thought, so that I know ki how you are thinking. Fear and fear के बाद whom. Okay, I hear Prachi saying what if it's my last. Okay, Manunita says happy, and then the thought she had is travel. Okay, Adita says sad, plane crash. My history teacher was telling a story about how one can and a relative just survived in the crash. Like they cancelled at the last moment. That made me a little sad. Okay. Okay. I see Samsung. I don't have the name, but it says excited and then said new destination. Okay. Akshar says happiness and then vacation. Minu says excited for journey. Okay. Interesting. Very, very different perspective. AS said need to travel. Anya said emotion is confused. Thought is can be avoided whenever possible. But I still love traveling because of the recent crash. Okay. Very interesting perspectives. ओके सो आई कम टू इट लेटर सो व्हाट वी हैव सीन इज कि कई लोगों को फियर आया कई लोग एक्साइटेड हैं somebody thinks कि उनका नया ट्रैवल आने वाला है so they are excited some people with the recent Air India crash that happened they have some memories around it so that's a good package that we had great thanks for sharing I'll tell you later what it meant okay so now I want you to understand now the difference between the emotions and the thoughts. Okay, since you have done this exercise, you'll be able to understand it better. Emotions क्या होते हैं हमारे? These are automatically bodily responses. Okay, so आपने कोई situation देखी which is a fact. Nobody can deny that nobody can deny this previous thing that you can see a plane which is taking off. Okay, it's a fact. There is no judgment, there is no assumption, it's a fact. Emotion क्या होता है as soon as you get into a situation or you see something जो आपका immediate emotion होता है that is your automatically bodily responses how your body responds as soon as you see something or get into a situation okay that's your emotion thoughts क्या होते हैं interpretations and the stories we attach so as you were saying कई लोगों को fear का emotion था right and the interpretation and the story the thought that they created is maybe if it is my last flight somebody said that I really felt sad because my history teacher said ki, it happened with somebody lately so that's a thought that came into your mind right somebody said the emotion was happiness right or excited because they want to travel somebody said that it's giving me a hint that I want to travel right so हम सब ने the situation was the same for all but how we perceived right how we felt about it how we thought about it was different to each one of us and why is that it's because आपकी जैसे कंडीशनिंग हुई है राइट आपने जो भी अपनी लाइफ में एक्सपीरियंसेस देखे हैं राइट द काइंड ऑफ न्यूज दैट यू लिसन टू द काइंड ऑफ एक्सपीरियंसेस दैट यू हैव हैड इन योर लाइफ राइट दैट एक्चुअली डिफाइंस कि हमारे बॉडी में इमोशंस कैसे आएंगे ओके somebody felt that it was a you know what if it could be their last flight so maybe a thing for them to go back is It is happening because they must have seen something that in their life, losing a loved one, right? Or getting into some accident, right? अब क्या होता है जब ये वाले हमारे हम ये एक्सपीरियंसेस करते हैं तो हमारी माइंड के अंदर, राइट, वो एक्सपीरियंसेस हमारे माइंड के अंदर स्टोर हो जाते हैं। जब हमारे माइंड के अंदर स्टोर हो जाते हैं तो जब हम कोई भी चीज को देखते हैं हम उसी तरह उसको रिएक्ट करते हैं। सो दैट्स द इमोशन दैट वाज कमिंग, राइट? थॉट क्या होता है? अब आपको इमोशन पता लग गया, आपका इमोशन फियर है, तो आपका थॉट भी फियरफुल ही होगा, राइट? आपका थॉट भी समथिंग विच इज मोर कॉशियस। ऑफन ऐसा होता है कि जब अगर आप किसी इफ यू आर ब्रॉट अप इन अ वेरी कॉशियस एनवायरमेंट, राइट, तो आप जब भी किसी भी इंसिडेंट या कहीं पे भी जाते हैं, शो अप करते हैं, यू आर ऑलवेज वेरी कॉशियस, बिकॉज वो आपके माइंड में मेमोरी स्टोर होती जा रही है। इट्स लाइक द कंप्यूटर मेमोरी एज वेल। आप जो जो डाले जाएंगे, जो जो आप एक्सपीरियंस करेंगे, द सेम थिंग विल हैपन इन योर माइंड एज वेल। ओके, समटाइम्स वी से नो कि आई एम नॉट गुड इनफ, लाइक समटाइम्स वी से दैट मेरी लाइफ खराब है, राइट? ask yourself, why are you asking these questions, having these emotions? These emotions are कुछ आपने पास में ऐसा एक्सपीरियंस किया है, राइट? तो वो आपकी मेमोरी में जाके बैठ गया है। अब माइंड को नहीं पता। माइंड की ब्यूटी ये है कि जो आप माइंड के अंदर डालेंगे वैसा ही होगा। एंड दैट्स व्हाई ऑलवेज से टुगेदर दे इन्फ्लुएंस हाउ वी आर। आपके इमोशंस क्या हैं, आप उससे क्या स्टोरी अटैच कर रहे हैं, these two will be the defining moment of how you will act. इवेंचुअली आप क्या करते हैं, आपके एक्शंस क्या होते हैं, इवेंचुअली दैट विल द उसके पीछे का रीजन आपके इमोशंस और थॉट्स है। नाउ द प्रॉब्लम इज, और नॉट द प्रॉब्लम इज, द इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग टू अंडरस्टैंड हियर इज, अगर आपको लग रहा है ना कि जो आप जैसे भी आप एक्ट कर रहे हैं, जैसे भी आप बिहेव कर रहे हैं, अगर वो आपको हैप्पीनेस दे रहा है, कामनेस दे रहा है, पीस दे रहा है, दैट मीन्स आपके माइंड में जो भी चल रहा है दैट इज गुड। ओके, बट अगर आपके माइंड में इफ यू आर इन दैट जोन जहां पे आपको लगता है कि मैं स्टक हूं कहीं पर, यू फील दैट यू आर ओवरवेल्म्ड time and again, you feel you are anxious, you are disturbed, you are unable to resolve some issues, okay, you are not able to reach your personal and the professional goals, right? आप एक ही लूप में घूमे जा रहे हैं, घूमे जा रहे हैं, घूमे जा रहे हैं, घूमे जा रहे हैं, ओके? इट्स बिकॉज आपके माइंड में जो भी आपने एक्सपीरियंस किया है, राइट, थ्रू आउट योर लाइफ, इट हैज स्टोर्ड इन योर माइंड एंड इट्स होल्डिंग यू बैक। आपके कुछ बिलीफ सिस्टम्स आपने बना लिए हैं विच आर लिमिटिंग यू। आपके कुछ ब्लाइंड स्पॉट्स हैं जो आप देख नहीं पा रहे हैं। आपने कुछ जजमेंट्स अपने दिमाग में बना लिए हैं कि ये बंदा तो ऐसा ही होता है, यू नो पीपल फ्रॉम अदर कम्युनिटी आर लाइक दिस, राइट? कुछ भी हो सकता है, इट कुड बी एनीथिंग, एनी जजमेंट, right? People who are good looking, they will be successful. If I am not good looking, I'll not be successful. If I am not good looking, I can never have a good relationship. कुछ भी आपने अपने माइंड में जजमेंट्स बना रखे हैं, राइट? दैट इज स्टॉपिंग यू। आपके कुछ पास्ट एक्सपीरियंसेस हुए हैं, राइट? जो फियर यूजली डेवलप होता है वो इसलिए होता है कि आप एक पर्टिकुलर एक्सपीरियंस करे जा रहे हैं, करे जा रहे हैं, करे जा रहे हैं, तो आपकी मेमोरी में जाके, आपके माइंड में जाके, एंड इट्स ऑल साइंस प्रूवन पीपल, आई एम नॉट टेलिंग यू समथिंग आउट ऑफ द ब्लू, इट्स रिसर्च बेस्ड, इट्स एक्चुअल साइंस, एक्चुअल स्टडी, कि आपका माइंड वो जाके वहां पे फिट कर लेता है। ओके, बायस नरेटिव्स, समटाइम्स बायसनेस बहुत होती है, समटाइम्स इट्स ऑलवेज बायसनेस बहुत है, दैट इफ इट इज माई फ्रेंड शी कैन नेवर गो रॉन्ग, or maybe could be anything ki, people, it could be anything, as I was saying, ki people who are do not come from a good financial background, they cannot do wonders in their life. Girls are less than boys, कुछ भी, it could be anything, but these are the biases, the narrative जो आप अपने mind को बोले जा रहे हो, बोले जा रहे हो, बोले जा रहे हो, and that's the reason you are stuck. On the left hand side that you see, that this girl who is going, जिसके माइंड में बहुत कुछ चल रहा है, इट्स बिकॉज शी इज नॉट एबल टू प्रोसेस इट। एंड इस वाली टर्मिनोलॉजी को हम बोलते हैं कंडीशनिंग ऑफ द माइंड। जब आपका माइंड एक पर्टिकुलर तरीके से कंडीशन हो जाता है, राइट, दैट्स व्हेन योर इश्यूज अराइज। okay, and as I was saying ki if you feel that it is working for you, well and good, but if it is not working for you, it's important to pause and reflect what's going on. एंड ये वाला एक्सरसाइज ना हमें टाइम एंड अगेन करना पड़ता है। क्योंकि हम हर दिन कुछ नया एक्सपीरियंस करते हैं, हम हर एक वीक में कुछ नया एक्सपीरियंस करते हैं, हम हर एक मंथ में कुछ नया एक्सपीरियंस करते हैं, राइट? तो आपको देखना पड़ेगा कि आप कैसे शो अप कर रहे हो खुद के लिए और टू एंड टू द वर्ल्ड. ओके, सो पॉज एंड रिफ्लेक्ट, वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. एक्नॉलेज एंड रेगुलेट. एज आई वाज सेइंग, टॉक्सिक पॉजिटिविटी मत रखिए कि नहीं नहीं ये सब तो कुछ नहीं होता. एड्रेस दोज प्रॉब्लम्स, एड्रेस दोज इमोशंस जो आपको माइंड में आपके चल रहे हैं, आपके हार्ट में चल रहे हैं. स्पीक आउट. जर्नलिंग करिए, मेडिटेशन करिए. मेडिटेशन ऑल्सो इज समथिंग विच आई वॉन्ट टू टेल टू ऑल ऑफ यू गाइज. मेडिटेशन, यू नो, ऑफन पीपल थिंक मेडिटेशन मतलब संन्यास बनना है. नो, मेडिटेशन डजंट मीन दैट. ओके, थिंक ऑफ मेडिटेशन लाइक दिस. अज्यूम आपके पास एक बोल है. ओके, let's say this is a glass. Okay, इसमें मैंने पानी भर दिया. Okay, and now I put those stone particles in it. dust डाली मैंने इसके अंदर. Okay, and dirt डाली. Okay, so now क्या होगा, पूरा पानी गंदा हो जाएगा. Now I'm just, you know, circling it, circling it, circling it, right? तो पानी गंदा ही रहेगा. Okay, now I just leave it here. Okay, and I let it settle. I just don't touch it. तो क्या होगा, थोड़ी थोड़ी टाइम में जो सारे डस्ट पार्टिकल्स हैं, सब कुछ ये सब नीचे स्टोर हो जाएंगे, और जो भी क्लियर पानी होगा वो ऊपर आ जाएगा. राइट? दैट सिमिलर इज द केस विथ योर माइंड. मेडिटेशन इज एक्चुअली सिटिंग विथ योर सेल्फ क्वाइटली फॉर 10 minutes, क्लोजिंग योर आईज एंड प्रोसेसिंग कि चल क्या रहा है मेरे साथ. Right, if you practice it daily, you know, start with 5 minutes, start with 10 minutes, but I can tell you it can change your life 180 degree. आपके सारे इश्यूज, आपके सारी गुस्सा, आपका सारा सब कुछ, you know, everything will go if you really understand meditation, and you will understand how to regulate those emotions. So acknowledge and regulate it. Okay, and then seek support if needed. If you feel you are not able to do it yourself, there is no shame. Right, I always say right time पे support लेना is always important, because हम, you know, people always think therapy, coaching, all these things वो लोग लेते हैं जिनको mentally कोई problem होती है. No, वो लोग लेते हैं जिनको अपनी life अच्छी करनी होती है. They want to come out of that situation. That actually shows courage. That कि मैं mentally ill ना हो जाऊं, that's the reason it's time for me to take the right support to make sense of my world. So I always say that if you are not able to crack this code by yourself, and it happens sometimes, we as coaches, we as therapists also need people. Sometimes we are not able to make sense कि क्या चल रहा है, तो हमें भी coaches की जरूरत पड़ सकती है. Okay, so it's very normal. So I would say seek professional support if you want to, if needed, if required. Don't shy away from this. Okay, so that's all I wanted to share. Last slide. I always say this to everyone, and you know, we all know this, that you don't have control over the situation. आप सबने एक लाइफ जी है, right? कितनी बार ऐसा हुआ है कि आपके अकॉर्डिंग लाइफ चली है? नेवर, राइट? यू नेवर हैव कंट्रोल ओवर द सिचुएशन, बट यू ऑलवेज हैव अ चॉइस. ऑलवेज हैव अ चॉइस, एंड दैट चॉइस कुड बी एनीथिंग. आप सफर करना चाहते हैं, आपकी चॉइस. यू वांट टू गेट इन्फ्लुएंस्ड फ्रॉम पीपल, बैड कंपनी, चॉइस आप ही का है. You want to move on to a new phase, new life, आपका choice है. You want to let it go. You feel that it is not worth your peace. That is also your choice. You surrender. You just say that whatever comes, I'll accept it. That is also a choice. Choice to confront, telling people that this is something I do not like, this is something I like, in a positive, in a polite way. That's also a choice. Taking a stand for yourself. So many women I see, they constantly crib about this is happening in my family life, this is happening in my family life, right? If you choose to suffer, you will suffer. If you choose to stand up for yourself, you will stand up for yourself. But why are you not doing it? Because कोई आपका पीछे एक इमोशन है जो आपसे ये एक्शन करवा रहा है. कोई आपने थॉट प्रोसेस है आपके पीछे जो आपसे ये इमोशन करवा रहा है. Okay, so the point is not what choice you make. Okay, the point is not ki, you know, sometimes we have to move on, sometimes we have to let it go, sometimes you have to stand up for yourself, right? There are different choices that we make at every given point of time. But what we are trying to say here is, जितना better hold होगा ना आपका emotions और thoughts पे, उतनी better choices और decisions आप अपने life में बनाओगे. ठीक है, अगर आपका कंट्रोल नहीं है ना आपके इमोशंस और थॉट्स पे, यू विल गो ऑल ओवर द प्लेस, एंड यू कैन सी दैट इन द वर्ल्ड हैपनिंग वेयर पीपल, देयर इज एक्सट्रीम साइड ऑफ एवरीथिंग, right? Why it is happening? Because people are losing control over their emotions and thoughts, right? I always say this, that knowledge nowadays is very very easy, it's very accessible. हम चैट जीपीटी के जमाने में रह रहे हैं, हम एआई के जमाने में रह रहे हैं. आपको कुछ भी क्वेश्चन है, गो एंड चेक विद चैट जीपीटी, आपको वो सारे आंसर्स देगा. प्रॉब्लम नाउ का प्रॉब्लम क्या है कि वी डोंट नो व्हेन टू अप्लाई व्हाट, एंड वहां पे विजडम है. दैट इज द विजडम वी ऑल आइडली शुड चेज, कि मुझे किस टाइम पे क्या डिसीजन लेना है, किस टाइम पे कैसे रिएक्ट करना है, राइट? दिस इज द एक्चुअल विजडम दैट नो एआई, नो चैट जीपीटी कैन एवर एवर सपोर्ट यू विथ, because only your mind knows what's going in your head, right? So I will leave all of you with this thought, that please take your emotions and thoughts seriously. Okay, when I say seriously means go back and reflect and see कि कुछ आपकी लाइफ में ऐसा हो रहा है जो अभी तक आप रिजॉल्व नहीं कर पाए हैं. Then it's time for you to pause and reflect and address it and take control of it. Okay, so this is just a quick slide for you to know how I can support you. Okay, I'll not go into the details of it. You can always go to my website and check how I can support you, but this is just a high level idea. The recording will be shared with you, so you can go back and refer to it. What I want to tell is all sessions are one on one, they are very confidential, they provide you no judgment, a very safe space. So if you feel that you are at that stage where nothing is working for you, please come and take support. There is no shame in it. So that's what I wanted to share. Now, I see most of you here, so maybe some reflections. Okay. I want to invite all of you, if you have any reflections, if there's something that's going in your mind, you want to share any takeaway that you had, feel free to put it in your chat box, or else we'll call it a day. Okay, I see one question. What if one tries to move forward, but the surroundings or experiences in life pull them back? What about the notions and biasness imposed on you, but not created by you? You have your answer in the question, Prachi. When you say that one tries to move forward, but the surroundings or experiences in life pull them back, you still have a choice. Your goal can change. You want to go to point A, right? But you don't have control how your external surroundings will show up to you. But at every step that you show up, right, you have a choice. The notions and biasness which are imposed on you, it is up to you whether you take it or not. माइंड में आप क्या फीड कर रहे हो ये आपके ऊपर है. एंड दिस इज वन कॉमन स्टेटमेंट दैट आई हियर फ्रॉम पीपल, दैट हम थोड़ा बहुत उस ब्लेम में चले जाते हैं कि पीपल आर आस्किंग मी टू डू दिस, राइट? मेरे फ्रेंड्स ने मुझे बोला, मैंने इसलिए किया. मेरे फैमिली ने मुझे बोला, मैंने इसलिए किया. गाइस, आई एम सॉरी टू से एंड बर्स्ट द बबल, चॉइस फिर भी आपका है. द चॉइस इज स्टिल विथ यू, वॉट यू आर डूइंग विद दैट. यू डू इट पोलाइटली, यू डू इट इन एनी वे, बट आप कैसे एक्ट कर रहे हैं, वो जहां पे आप शो अप कर रहे हैं वो आप ही कर रहे हैं, कोई और नहीं कर रहा है, right? So again, ये conditioning है mind की, and maybe Prachi, we can have a detailed discussion. What's the context of it to get more insights? But I want to leave you with this thought, people, that whatever you do today, when you leave this webinar and you show up to yourself and to the world, always tell yourself, I always have a choice to do anything, but I always have a choice, and my choice will be better. I will get more wisdom, I will make better choices if I have control over my emotions and thoughts. Okay, cool. Great. So with that, let's leave. Okay, so with that, team, thank you so much. Thanks for staying here, and I'll share the recording with all of you. Please have a look as and when you need. Okay, thank you so much. Take care. Bye.